Welcome back to FTP Speed Shop Podcast, a podcast where we talk about what you talk about in the garage, because, hey, we're in the garage. I'm your host, Mike Early, and today with me, I got Taz. How's it going, Taz?
Pretty good, man.
So, what have you been working on in the garage?
Oh, lately I picked up myself a '02 Chevy Silverado, standard cab short box. It came with a stock 5.3 and a little 4L60E in it, but swapped everything out. Decided to go with the 4.8 I had laying around for like 4 years. Finally got it up and going, and yeah, it's working out. It's not bad.
I've seen a few videos of it on the internet. It seems like a boogie's all right.
Oh yeah.
Seems like it gets down all right. So you went with the 4.8 just because you had it, or?
Yeah, that was, it was a junkyard, engine that I picked up. It sat around for the longest time. I didn't even think I was going to touch it. So I had the turbo already sitting around. It was a S475, and I man, I've been out of the groove for a little while, and ever since the Honda game, I've been out of it for like 6 plus years, and I just had that itch, man. I just, went back to the streets again and seen what's going on. I was just like, maybe I need to get into something else again. So I decided to put a little something together, and it worked, man. I was really, really amazed.
Well, you had that, well, we can go in the way back machine in the Accord and the nitrous way back in the early 2000s. But
oh yeah, man, that was woo.
You had that. Was it a Civic hatch? That black, was it, or was it a?
Yep, '95 Civic hatch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that car was actually my wife's daily, and we made a deal for actually the '98 Prelude we had back then. The wife wanted that really bad, and I was like, you know what? I'll tell you what, we make a deal, we'll switch vehicles, you let me do what I need to do to the Civic, and I'll give you the Prelude, no problem. She fell for it. Oh man, but yeah.
Yeah, but you were always an H and an F guy. You got rid of the H and went to a B. I'm assuming.
I had actually had the D series going first, and I ended up squeezing a lot of power out of that little motor. It was fully forced top and bottom, and that was. I like messing with smaller engines, so I was just really curious. So I decided to just build my own and see how it worked out, and yeah, it was impressive. A little 450 horse little engine, a little 1.6 liter. It was a screamer.
It's definitely impressive what those little motors can make per cylinder. Yep. They get a lot of shit talked on them, but
yeah,
man, when you're pumping out over 100 horsepower per cylinder, that's
it's doing a lot.
Impressive.
Yep.
I mean, I guess that's what the LS game is with the turbos and all that stuff now. I remember back in the day, it was like if you had 600 horsepower, you're the king of the street.
Yes, you were.
Ain't nobody touching that.
That's right.
Finally get the Chevelle's got the supercharger on it. It's maybe around 600 horsepower.
Yep.
And they're like, 600 horsepower? Jeez. My wife's car has that much horsepower.
It's all about power weight ratio, man. That's what I believe. So it played a big role, and it still does that today. There's a few guys I know now with still in the Honda game, putting it down. Alex, he's come a long ways, but now he's got that all-wheel drive car that it takes out anything and everything in his way. Pretty impressive the way he came.
Did he do the all-wheel drive conversion on it, or was it
all-wheel drive conversion? Yep.
Man, there's a lot of neat stuff out there now like that.
It wasn't readily available back then. It's like all the Liberty trainees they got for him now. Back then it was just a bunch of cheaper stuff, and we worked with what we had. That was it. But now it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's really hard to justify spending the $3,000 on the bell housing or whatever it is to get that. Right? I looked into doing that maybe with the Prelude. Just do something different. Maybe I'll do all-wheel drive.
Yeah. I know if I do it again, do it over again, it'd probably be a lot better this time. If I was to build another Honda, it'd be pretty extreme.
Mm-hmm. For
now
sure.
They got all the the resources for all the parts are out there now, so it's. It'd be something to try out.
For sure. It's definitely the aftermarket has come miles and miles and miles. There's still nothing hardly out there for the the H series stuff, like they're
those motors were the least looked at because of the displacement, I believe, and
they
wasn't that popular.
Yeah, you weren't spinning those to $9 or $10 like some of the shorter stroke B series motors.
It's almost like you treated those though if they were like, let's say your average 6-liter LS 6-liter. You know, you throw that in a vehicle, you don't put too much of anything on it because you know it's really sensitive, but it does just fine being NA. Versus the smaller engines, they can take more abuse because of the rigidity of the block. You know, the block is a lot more thicker, it handles more pressure, and that's why I would pick the smaller stuff all the time. It worked out for me. But yeah, that's as far as that. The B and the D series, that's why I always fell back on those because they were it was a lot more resourceful parts for those.
Oh, absolutely. The aftermarket for those was through the roof. I mean, you could get just about anything and everything for those. So absolutely agree with that 100%. So, but the H and the Fs, they were like the big blocks of the Honda world.
Yep.
They didn't spin to the moon, but they made a lot of good torque.
Yep.
So I remember drag radials and a 50 shot of nitrous on that and spraying nitrous in first gear and dumping the clutch at the track at $4,000, and it just freaking it moved out pretty good. And it was still slower than hell. It was a 14-second car, but
hey, it was still fun, man. That's all that matters. It was still fun when you did it.
Times have definitely changed. I don't even think there's a 14-second car on the street anymore. They all seem to be so much faster.
That's old fast speed, man. It's all different now. Now you're hearing cars running. Now there's a lot of 8th mile drag going on, so I'm seeing cars, the normal speeds anymore is a 6.5 class. And what I did with the truck just recently in a 6.5 class, I'm just looking at them like, okay, so that's basically a 10-second quarter-mile run. So it's just like, that's the new thing now. It's just, if you're in a 6.5 class, your car is doing something really well,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was like being in 12s, the 12 seconds back in the day.
Yeah, back then 12s was fast.
Yeah, and now it's like you can't even come to the game anymore. Yep. So what are you doing with the truck? The truck's pretty nice pretty clean little piece, and you just got upgraded the turbo. I think I saw on Facebook or on Instagram.
Yeah, I had to replace the turbo after that last 6.5 cash days we had. The turbo was taking a dump on me, maybe the second or third, fourth pass into the whole race, but I didn't give up. I had to just push through since I was there, and I kept climbing up the ladder, so I just kept going with it, and to the end, I made it to the second runner up, but I was like, hey, I made it this far. I was more than pleased with what I've done for myself, building that little project, and it worked out.
So you get second place out of that?
Yep.
Hell yeah. Place. So, that's pretty damn good. I seen a few videos. The truck looked like it was moving pretty good that day. So, So you got the upgraded turbo. Maybe we don't want to give away all your secrets.
Yeah. No, I got another pending race coming up here soon. So right now I'm just getting stuff dialed in, and I still have a few upgrades I got to add to it to make it right. Because I got to take first next time, man.
Hell yeah! Is it another Cash Days event?
Yep.
Nice. How often do they do those? About once a month or so?
Yeah, once a month. That's about right. And depending on the weather.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always thought it'd be kind of cool to do that, but I don't. Man,
hey, you can at least come check it out.
I don't know if I got the balls anymore to do that. I don't know. I guess I got old.
It's a lot more regulated than before.
Yeah.
We actually had to pay watch out people. People to keep make sure we all safe, safe and keep us from getting in trouble. So
it's not like the Fast and the Furious. It's actually, it's as safe as you.
Yeah, we don't go running from cops, nothing like that, man.
It's as safe as you can be from the street aspect of, obviously there's nowhere to shit. The closest place to go to a strip around here, I guess, is I-29 or Kearney or Hastings, I think. So it's like we're driving over an hour to get anywhere, and
yeah, that's the worst part. We need to get something here.
It would be nice.
It would be really nice.
It would, and then you could get times, and you can figure out what your 60 foot is and what you're actually doing in the 8th mile and then in the quarter mile or something.
Revenue to the state even.
Cool, yeah, but they don't think about that. They think about waking up the dead people in the cemetery and all that bullshit excuses they had last time. So, but yeah, I don't know. It would be nice if there was a place that we could go to just
keep the kids off the streets.
Beat on our cars a little bit. Yeah, it'd be real nice. Cause I don't know, man. Well, for one, I'm scared because I don't have a car that's enough to like really go out there and shit talk. Not that I had a car back in the day. I guess I had more balls to go out and shit talk back in the day.
You proved a valid point, man. You showed yourself well. You performed.
So
I gotta give it to you. You performed
well. I guess that was part of just being young and knowing the car and knowing what the car could do. Is where I don't drive any of my cars enough to really know to know them in and out like I did, the Prelude back in the day. I'll go out and fuck around on roll racing and stuff with Travis and that Corvette, and the Chevelle gets really fucking scary at speeds. Like you're topping out third gear, it gets scary. It starts darting a little bit in the front. There's a nasty vibration in the driveline that shows up. Yeah, so it gets a little sketchy. So it'd be nice if and I still have a 10 bolt in it. So if I hook it, it's going to go kaboom. I do have a 12 bolt over in the corner back there. I just haven't got around to.
That was probably my last upgrade on my truck was that. I actually found a 2014 Silverado rear end. And it was actually a 12 bolt, but still retain a 6-lug bolt pattern. So I'm like, give it a try. So I put that in there, threw a fresh set of gears from Yukon.
Was it a 14 bolt?
It was a 12 bolt.
12 bolt?
Yep. Salisbury style rear end. Yep. So put that on there and bought the B&M reinforced cover, put on the back side of it. So it's working pretty good right now. And went with like a 373 gear ratio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Automatic in it, I'm assuming.
Yep. TH400 with a trans brake. Yeah, that's about it. Got the bump features.
I seen it bump in.
Yeah, that's. I always wanted to do that, man. All my years of seeing cars taking off the line, and they get up there, boy, and they're scooting up there. I was like, oh, I like that. So I was like, man, I'll be glad when I get a vehicle to do that. So yeah, man, I love hitting that button somewhere, just.
What are you running for tuning software?
I ran with Terminator X.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's probably I don't know. It's really user friendly. I like it a lot. It seems a lot similar to like the old Honda S300. Mm-hmm. The tuning, all the interface and all that seemed to be almost the same. So when I, doing the Honda stuff and then I switched over and got into this, the Holly stuff, I'm like, it seemed kind of similar. Start working with it more and more, and it's such a forgiving program, and I love it. It works hands down. That's the best thing to use anymore.
Speaking of that, do you have any shipped Honda ECUs laying around?
Oh man, no. I sold a few last items like that. It was like maybe 3 years ago. I was digging around and found some stuff laying around. A Skunk 2 chip I had around, and some wideband stuff. Sold the PLX just recently, so that's
unloaded all the stuff. Oh man. No, I had that ECU I got from Jeremy. I think it was a P28 or
P28, yeah.
Actually, it might have been a P06. I don't remember. It's sitting over there, but the main capacitor on it was chipped running chrome, and that's what we were tuning the Prelude with.
Oh yeah, I never understood that program.
And I never even got a chance to really get into it because the main capacitor cracked and leaked all the acid out, shorted the ECU out, and the damn thing started on fire. It was just idling in the garage. I was taking pictures of it for the insurance company, and all of a sudden it goes, burp, shuts off, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. It won't turn on anymore, and then there's smoke rolling out from the tow board. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? I figured I messed up something with the wiring or something like that, because I did all the wiring, and no, damn ECU shorted out. So right now I've just got the non-VTEC ECU in there, and then since I got rid of the resistor packs and went to the high impedance or the low impedance.
Yeah, coil unplugged now, or
No, it's still, but for the injectors, I've got the JDM injectors in there and with like adapter plugs I had to make to plug it in because went from the high to the low, the low to the high.
Yep, high and low impedance. I forgot about that. That's how they ran them. So yeah, you have to use that little resistor box.
Yep, I deleted that resistor box. So because I was running like RC 450s, I think, in there.
Yep.
So,
and it's bringing back a lot of memories, man. Sitting there thinking about that, I was like, wait a minute. He's talking about the impedance of the injectors. I was like, wait a minute. I remember fucking wiring up those little ass boxes, man. It was so annoying. You never know what injectors you got back then. You just had to run it and see what it did. And if, it didn't work out
or whatever.
Put the box in there and the box activated just right. It's like, okay, cool. So, yeah, that was a good learning curve there.
It was all the the stupid shit we did back in the day, kind of. Well, it's the stepping stones. If you're not going out and like doing something and building things or making things happen, then you're not learning. You're not living. You're not growing as a person or as a hobby or a creator. So
that's right.
I kind of always have been of the mindset, if I'm not out there doing it, then it's not interesting enough to me. I don't really like giving my stuff to other people to work on. I want to be able to figure out how to do everything on it and take it from every single. I haven't got into like automatic transmissions and rebuilding stuff like that. Rear ends, not much. I've replaced bearings and stuff like that, but never gotten setting up gears and things like that. But otherwise, try to go through everything else and just every project, try to learn something new. Like we got the new backdrop in the garage today is a sub 100, and like did the headliner, the Mexican blanket, did the headliner out of that and fired up the sewing machine and just tried to figure out how to do it. Made my own headliner bows and stuff in there because those didn't originally have a headliner like that. It was kind of the
looks good in there, man.
Cardboard whatever headliner. So, but yeah, I seen you looking at that when I was on the phone. That's on an 04 Suburban. So really? The whole frame, engine, everything's 04 Suburban. So
a lot of neat stuff to it. I kind of walked around and looked at everything, and I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of custom stuff done to this. It makes the average person don't see these much, really appreciate the craftsmanship you got into this thing, man. It's a pretty amazing machine.
Well, and then my whole philosophy on cars is like, I want it to look like it should, or the way it should have come from the factory, so I do little subtle tweaks. Like I lowered the side trim down a ½ inch because from the factory it's up a ½ inch, and you can see the two-tone or whatever. You can see that body line that's right there. And I was like, I think the chrome should be at the body line to cover up that two-tone as much as possible. And just little stuff like that. I didn't do a whole lot of other things on this. Just shaved the back line where the box and the tail light, I guess, assembly meets. But
did you do a floor lift in the back here?
Yeah, because of the way the frame came up on the Suburban, it actually I had to raise the floor, I think 7 1/4 inches on it.
Oh, wow.
So it makes it nice if I ever got to do a fuel pump, because I can literally sit underneath the car and then the fuel pump's right there, because that's where all the headroom's at. So all the stuff in the back is, that's tight to the frame, but right where the fuel pump's at, we thought about trying to do some sort of a cubby or storage down there, maybe lift up the bed, put it on hinges, like in the front by the cab there, where there's just all that dead space. But it's like, it seems like too much work to go through and do all that. But no, it's a fun truck. We built it on a budget, made it as cheap as possible. I think the whole truck, every time, obviously the longer you have a vehicle, the more money goes into it.
Yeah, but that's how it works, man.
I think when we first got it done, it was about $5,000 I had in the truck, and then we did a little bit here. So I'm going to say I'm under $7,000 in the whole truck.
Oh shit, that's not bad.
So
man. Not bad at all.
It's definitely, for what it is, it's a head turner, it's a cruiser. We've drove it 9 hours away to car shows or whatever, and it just boogies on down the road and just does what it's supposed to do. It drives like a new car and rattles like an old truck, is kind of what I always say, because it's still got all the door rattles and window rattles and stuff that all the old vehicles have. But it'll
What'd you do for transplanting this thing?
It's just all factory 04 Suburban. So it's got a 5.3 in it. It literally took the cab in the bed and just set it on a Suburban frame over the motor.
Oh, so you have to custom make all the mounts to hold all this stuff?
It's got the Suburban floor pan in it because the floor pan was shot in the 65. So just modified the Suburban floor pan to work with it, and then had to cut the frame, the body mounts off of the frame and move those forward 3 inches because the cab came forward 3 inches to where the floor pan was on the Suburban. So it took a little bit of playing to get the wheels to fit right in the wheel well opening versus what the Suburban was, but it all lines up pretty good. Wanted to get it as low as possible to try to have the body cover the frame, and it's close, but
I would have never known you did all this, man. If you would have never told me, I would have just guessed this is how this truck was set up. But like I said, the bed was almost kind of a giveaway when I looked in there. I was just like, he lifted a box up, and I looked under there, and I seen the towers you had there. I was like,
that don't seem right.
I was like, wow, that's the tallest one's ever seen, man. But I'm like, wait a minute, the floor has been lifted up. So you did it right. It looks good, man.
Yeah, and it's the best part about it is taking that to shows, when you got like these diehard Ford truck guys, and they're like, I don't ever look at lug nuts. I don't count lug nuts. It's not like on my radar, and it's 6 lug. And so they walk up to it and they're like, the hell, that's got too many lug nuts. Why's that got so many lug nuts? And they're like laying on the ground, looking underneath. They're like, it's not Crown Vic swap. It's what the hell is 6? They're like, what the hell is 6 lugs? And they're trying to figure it out. And then I go talk to them. We're like, you shitting me? Damn, I didn't even know that was an option. I go, I didn't either until we were drunk one night in the garage after Hurricane Harvey or whatever it was down in Texas. And we were looking for co-parts to get like 5.3s or 6-liter pullouts. And so, and this truck was just, it was a basket of bolts. It was still red and all that stuff sitting in here on the original frame. And I was like, oh man, I don't know. It'd be cool to do like a body swap onto like a newer model truck, something that it would have so that it would have good suspension. I wouldn't have to be dealing with the twin I-beams and all the bullshit up front, and started looking at truck wheelbases, and then started looking at Tahoe wheelbases and Suburban wheelbases, and coming up with
you did the way out research, man.
Yeah, the Suburban.
Try that.
The Suburban wheelbase is 1 inch longer than the factory long box pickup wheelbase, and I think the track width up front was about a 1/2 inch wider. So the tires do rub when you like hit a bump on crank, with it cranked over, but it's lowered.
So you didn't have to shorten the frame at all on either end?
No,
wow, it's like direct fit under
it's pretty much, it was 1 inch longer, but with the big sweeping wheel wells, you're really able to make up you're able to make up a 1/2 inch here and move it a 1/2 inch there, and you can make that inch up really easily with it. Yeah, just
it's a
little harder with a car where you don't have 2 separate pieces that you can kind of jostle around a little bit and spread the gap out here and there. So, but yeah, I don't know. It was a fun truck. I just wanted to learn how to do things I've never done before. So it's like, obviously I've never done a body swap or a frame, or any of that stuff. And it was a good intro. I learned a lot. I did the LS wiring harness and the Chevelle. And so this retained the factory under hood fuse block and all that. And then that fuse block runs the entire truck. So every other circuit in the truck
so
now.
You kept the whole factory.
Yeah. So now everything is ran off of that.
And that keep more of a stable relay system to run with all the factory stuff.
Get rid of the little glass fuses and all that. So it was definitely a lot of hours of staring at paper wiring diagrams and chasing wires and figuring out what the hell this goes there. And the ignition was different from the truck to that, or I don't remember what it was. One of them was ground actuated instead of power actuated. So when you tried to intermix them, you were shooting sparks because it was going. I don't remember what the hell it was, but there was a lot of whoa, okay, that's getting hot. Shit, that's not right. Let's go ahead and go back to the drawing board on that one. But it's fun. I like building the cars as much as I like driving them. I mean, that's fun to drive. That turns more heads than anything I own.
Oh yeah.
And it's just I think it's the colors. I mean, that teal just grabs your attention.
It does. Right when I walked in there, I was just like, man, it's something about this thing. I like it a lot.
It's
very subtle. Let's just say that. The color, it's like perfect.
Yeah, and I like to piss off the true Fords because I'm a Chevy guy, I guess, but I have a Honda and I also have a Ford, so I guess I can't even really say that anymore. But you know, I was like, I'm not a Ford guy, but I got a free Ford pickup truck, so I put it on a 04 Suburban, and then you know, just
made it better. Let's just say that you made it better.
We'll leave it at that. We'll piss off the rest of the Ford guys. So. But yeah, I don't know. LS swap the world. I don't know. It seems to be a good platform. I like it.
Anymore. That's where it is. It's best budget beater engine you can get right now for the price.
It's crazy what those things can handle, and just, you know, sloppy mechanics and Matt Hopple and all that stuff, figuring out the weak links on all those is just, that blew my mind when I saw that stuff a handful of years ago when he's like dyno tuning the 5.3 and.
Hey, that guy actually knows his stuff, man. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
My truck is run off of one of his tunes that I modified.
Really?
And it's working just fine. Yeah. I had to switch everything over, of course, because he was, you know, the tunes that I got off of his website actually had to, he must have been running pump fuel, and I'm running 85 at the time, so I had to take and change the whole, you know, the map 30% more fuel across the whole board, and I, you know, first turnkey and it fired right up. I'm like, holy crap! So I'm like, shit. I did a little drive around, got some data log in, and just had to make a few adjustments, and I just left it alone. It's working just fine.
Yeah, I mean,
very informational guy to, you know, get resources from.
He's definitely put a lot of time and energy into it, and it's cool to see. My favorite part was where he'd literally just find the weak link, and as you make 10 more horsepower, this is what breaks. You make 50 more horsepower, this is what breaks. And it's like, okay, at 750, you know, now we're maxing out, you know, whatever, 1,000. It's not the injectors or whatever, it's the fuel line or the fuel pump or something, and find all the weak links on it. So it's cool to see. It's just cool to have a motor combination or whatever that can readily available. When you blow it up, they're getting a little more expensive, but when you blow it up, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you got a $6,000 built motor like you would have had to have back in the day.
You know, just stock bottom end builds, man. That's pretty much all we're doing with them now. Just leave the bottom ends alone. You know, just check everything out, do your ring gaps, and just put a good top end on it. That's basically all I have on my truck.
Do you go in and when you re-bearing it while you're there, or you just reuse the
I never even touched the bearings on mine. I pulled mine out of junkyard. It was 170,000 miles on it, and I slapped the oil pump on it. That's all I did to it. Put everything together, new top end, and just ran it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gap the rings, open up your ring gap.
I actually didn't even touch that either.
Yeah.
Never even touched the ring gap.
When that 6-liter I had for the Chevelle that's in there now, I pulled the pistons out to gap the rings. And the ring gap from the factory was bigger than what I wanted them to be. So they were already open.
They're already wore out. That's what that is. They already gapped themselves.
So it was, you know.
That's what I say. It's a hit and miss, man.
Yeah,
it's a hit and miss.
For like 28 and 25 or something. And it was like, or maybe it was 25 and 20. I don't remember what the hell I had in my mind. But it was, they were basically all around 30.
Yeah, I'll say anything
first
over
and second ring, yeah.
Anything over 150 or 60K, it's already ring gap. You don't even touch it no more.
Well, now that I know that, it was a 180,000 mile motor. It was a $500 6-liter.
Oh yeah, it was already broke in, man.
I do got to figure out the issue with it, because it's got real good oil pressure when it first started up. Drive it, starts warming up, and it'll drop down to like 10 at idle and 8, and then it comes right back. I'm scared I don't want to drain the oil and check the oil. I've got so much other shit going on that I haven't messed with it for the last month. But
I would go for the sensor more likely. If you didn't replace that first, if it's still the factory sensor that's on those, they can read faulty. So that'd be, you know, I will go at least somewhat the cheapest route to take care of the problem. That way you can assure that that's reading correctly. But yeah, those.
Well, here's the bad news on that. That's a mechanical gauge.
Oh.
So
taking us back in time, man, reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, no, it's a mechanical gauge. I don't even have the electronic sensor hooked up anymore.
You had to...
So I don't know. I've got the car show coming up on October 8th, and if I got to drain the oil, find out if there's
shavings
if there's any metal in it. If it looks like a pan of gold, obviously then I know we went ahead and ate a bearing. But I'm not going to drain the oil out, find out that it's full of metal, and then go buy new oil to put in it so that I can take the Chevelle to the car show we're putting on in 3 weeks or whatever. So it's like it's sitting in my dad's garage. It'll be fine. It runs good. It still runs really good. You floor it, it'll freaking blow the tires off of it, and it moves out just fine. But the supercharger with hardly zero tune on it probably is hard on bottom ends.
Oh yeah, it can be. Oh yeah, any power adder to any motor, it's a hit and miss. It can work out good, or it can take you away that quick.
It's crazy that the supercharger just kicks in so fast, and it's just that's the one drawback. It's at 2,500 RPM, you've got it all.
It's all right there, yeah.
And so it's hard on things. It's hard on
a lot more. At least it's a little bit more gentle than nitrous would be, of course. Actually.
Yeah, I suppose maybe. It depends on what kind of shot you're running.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
How many F series did you blow up back in the day in your nitrous days in the Hondas?
Man,
I remember seeing you. We pull up there and you're like, I just got a new motor in this weekend. We're gonna try it out.
Yeah, yeah. The nitrous days. I think with that one there, I probably went through at least 2, maybe 3 F series. Most time they
not
just
too bad then.
No, the motor didn't grenade. It just melted the valves. Is all I was having problems with. Never cooked a piston. Maybe charred out one spark plug, and that's about it.
Really, just burning valves on it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, that's crazy.
Did that with the white Integra I had, the 91 a long time ago. Same thing. That really clean one. Yeah, that was that B series, and it was all stock. And I took that same nitrous and sprayed it through that car, and it melted the valve on that one too. So I was pretty much done with my nitrous after that. I had to experiment with something different.
Yeah, I don't know. I blew up one motor, and that was when Dave got that red Civic with turbo T34OE. I don't know what it is.
T04E.
Yeah, and he was all of a sudden he was like hot shit in the Honda world, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna let him beat me. Not gonna happen. So I went and got the 75 jets and threw them in, and went down to O'Reilly's, and I was 20 years old and didn't really know that much about stuff. And I was like, I got to get us, colder plug in here. Cause I'm going to spray the big shot tonight, you know? And, the guy didn't have any idea. Cause I got NGKs. He's like, oh yeah, well, Delcos go this way. So NGKs go up. So he gave me the hotter plug on it, and we're on 84th by the event center now. And it's like, we're just going at it, and I think I was ahead of him. Dave, if you're watching, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I was winning. And all of a sudden, it was
got quiet, didn't it?
Didn't make a damn sound. No racket, no noise, no nothing. It just, I was like, oh, that's weird. Car shut off. Dumped the clutch a few times, tried to get it to start, cranked on it, nothing.
Man.
No, all it is just, I blew a hole. Well, the piston, I think it's sitting up there on that first shelf. I call it the happy Asian, because it looks like a little Asian guy smiling where the hole is.
Oh, is that one with the hole? That's a hole in there?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Holy crap.
Oh, he's upside down. Yeah, so I would just call this the happy Asian.
Oh, wow.
I think I butted some rings together and
look at that, man. Wow. That is happy, man. He smiled more than I do, man.
He's had the best time of his life for that for that 30 seconds or less, or however the hell long it was. He was having the most fun of his life.
Damn.
But yeah, we had that. I went and got my dad's truck and the Bobcat trailer, and we pulled that thing down to the garage down the street and pulled the motor out the next morning or popped the head off. And I remember AJ was helping me do it, and we're prying the head up and trying to get it loose. It was still stuck in the back corner or whatever. And he looks in there and he's like, dude, you're my hero. And I was like, that's not good. What does it look like? What are you talking about? He's like, there's a hole in your piston. I was like, oh no. Because I just thought maybe
Maybe broke one do this before.
Broke the timing belt or something, or I didn't know. I was hoping that maybe I just had to have the head redone. And then it was like, well, that's pretty catastrophic. And
that's seized up, didn't it?
And that's I think a $1,300 motor in like 2002 or whatever it was. So it was an expensive ass motor to go down to Olson's and get one.
Oh yeah, they scalped us really bad back in the day.
Yeah, it was expensive. So the nitrous got put up for about a year after I did that. I didn't run it.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you. Once I killed a couple of mine, I was done with it too. It was like, that's not for me.
It came back for a short period of time, and then I sold the car. I had to get a truck. So which is the one car that I probably wished I still had. I tried to build the new Prelude to match that one, or build what I wanted it to be back in the day. You know, the car, if I had some money, but when I was 19 years old, the car I wanted to build is what I ended up trying to recreate, but it's not the same. There's too much time in between, from 05 when I sold it to, now when I get it done last year. So there's so much time has passed. I've grown so much, and just, the scene's not the same. Everything's different. So
time takes toll.
I have it as, like a memorabilia to my past, I guess. And that's about it. So you had the Honda, the Accord. What was that? A 92 one?
I had a 91, and I had a 91, a 92, and a 93 was probably the latest one I had. But I think the one that started was probably like the 91.
That was the one that had the two-tone scallops kind of paint job down the side? Because you kind of started out being a body guy, didn't you? Or you were kind of into
did a lot of body and paint for a long period of time, and it just got old, started thinking about my health long term. So I just like, maybe want to go into something more different. So that's why I got more back into the welding, and that was a game changer. It was just more relaxed for me. Less stress.
Speaking of welding, you were the man that welded up the triple intake spacer for the Prelude. This was the guy that said, Taz, I've got a project for you. You want to?
Yeah.
You want to see if you can weld up some dirty ass aluminum?
That was a challenge, man. I enjoyed doing that type of stuff. It's all I do is weld every day. So just when you bring me those type of projects, anybody bring me any challenging project, I'm like, oh, man, this is gonna be badass. So I just try to make the best of it,
So what do you do? You are you welding full time now?
Oh, yes, sir.
Where are you working at?
I'm down at Massport right now.
Oh, okay.
Welding up a bunch of aluminum tanks, for the pooper trucks. So I build those aluminum tanks that they use on those pump systems for the pooper trucks, and then after that, just go straight down to the shop.
I was gonna say, I wondered if you had went full time down at the shop yet or not.
Oh man, I wish there was more revenue going on here, man.
Yeah,
this town's just too small for as many people doing the same type of work I do as as far as welding and fabrication. Yeah, I'm thinking of, I might have to, switch up locations, maybe having to go explore in another state, just try to expand my horizons, find something new.
It's definitely hard especially once you have a customer base established to cut tails and run, to try to go explore and see if there's anything out. Well, we all get comfortable, but yeah, I mean, you've got some pretty cool projects in there. I definitely keep up with what you're doing on Facebook and Instagram or whatever, and you're doing a lot of pretty pretty legit stuff, like turbo swaps, cages, things like that, and you know, fabrication, front noses, snouts, whatever on Mustangs and stuff.
Front members, those are pretty cool, man. It's basically a lot of good kits. Rock Solid Motorsports, that was a lot of the kits I've been using. You know, these customers are bringing these in, and I'm just like, it's a pretty simple little setup. You know, just pretty much, you know, cut, mock up, and go, and just weld it all together. You know, as long as you get everything balanced and leveled out, and it works. So it's pretty effective. So yeah, I'll get quite a few of those here and there. Other than that, just random small parts here and there.
You get some idiot coming in there. Hey, can you weld up my H23 intake? Oh, sure. I'll throw some boogers. I ain't looking for a few bucks.
Yeah, I knew that one was gonna be a challenge, man. I was just like, oh, here we go, man. Damn, aluminum that thick too. I'm like, oh, my poor machines. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just send it and see what it does. And
yeah, you said you'd upgraded to the torch cooler.
Yeah, got a water cooling unit for my setup. So yeah, now I'm able to, you know, just keep running the aluminum at its high rate and not having to, you know, lift up and let it cool down, because most of the time it burns the torches up. So
yeah, I remember we were running compressed air on your torch, I think, or
I was just
trying to cool it down in between.
Cool. That's, you know,
I know, but when we were,
I had to set it in front of the actual fan.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I had to set it in front of the scroll case.
I remember you were doing something to like, you're like, this fucker's hot, and we're gonna burn this thing up. And I was like, God damn it. I feel bad if I'm like over here having him do something and he burns up his equipment. He said he wanted to do it, so. But that's the. It's a negative of it, I guess. Yeah. It's like, I think we can do that. And then you get in there and you're like, fuck, man, this is hard on my stuff. I definitely didn't charge him enough.
I was going to keep it fair, you know. If I was this, that's the challenge I took. So that'd have been all on me, man. That's how it works.
I hope that someday I can learn how to weld, and I just got that set up. And so I'm going to try. Yeah. I'm going to start dabbling with it. The shitty thing is I bought that whole setup in the damn cart, you know, that's designed for it all, that fits in there and packs it all in nice and clean. Is ordered it with it, and it's on back order. It's been on back order for 2 months.
Oh,
so man. It's kind of like, man,
I wonder if that was probably coming from China.
It's stuck on a boat. It definitely is. It's stuck on a boat. Yeah. I don't think they made it in America and then put it on a boat and then drove it around the ocean and brought it back.
One of those boats I've seen online recently looked like it tipped over and all your shit went flying. No. I was just playing, man.
That was the one with all like the electric Porsches in it or whatever that started on fire and then ended up sinking.
That was bad. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a guy that was on the one of the Prelude Facebook pages I'm at. He had finally got his dream car certified to be imported. It was a 4th gen Prelude, I think, and it was coming from Japan or wherever it was at that he was getting it imported from. It was on that boat that sunk when all those electric cars.
Man.
And he'd been dealing with that shit for years and finally had it figured out, and it was coming across the ocean. And he's like, oh man, in 2 weeks I'm gonna have my car. He's pumped, and then he's like,
I hope he had insurance for all this.
It's not that boat. I swear it's not that boat. And then it's like, it was that boat.
That'd be a bummer, man. Knowing you getting some coolest JDM stuff, you know. Anything that came from Japan was the coolest.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if maybe it was in Europe or something. I don't know, because if it was coming over.
Right. It was a Europe version of those same cars too.
Yeah, so if it was coming from, you know, Germany or wherever the hell, Volkswagen and
that's right,
and Porsche. I don't know if it was coming from Japan or where it was coming from. Maybe they picked it up on the way. I have no idea. I'm not in the logistics. So
that's right. They did. But
so yeah, I don't know. But it was like he was pumped. He's like, yeah, dude, get in the car, get in the car. Not get in the car. Got to go find another one. Son of a bitch. Yeah, you imagine when you're trying to sleep at night and you just keep hearing that sound play over and over again.
Damn. I'd have been upset.
Man, there was a couple. 4th gens, the JDM ones, and they were clean as fuck. And it was like right when I was getting ready to finish painting mine, and I was like, yeah, I think I might just finish paint mine and just go get an all original right-hand drive JDM, 5-speed, just clean as fuck.
I'm yet to want to drive a right-hand drive car for so long.
I don't know that I could I don't know if my brain could figure it out. I'd be like going, I don't know, the shift pattern, if that's backwards or if I could even figure out how to do that. But I think a right-hand drive car would be pretty cool.
Yep.
It'd be real cool. Well, I guess technically speaking, that mail truck out there, that 65 Jeep, I'm assuming you saw it.
That right-hand drive?
It is. It's right-hand drive. So I got to figure that out. You're somewhat in chassis stuff, so maybe I'll pick your brain a little bit when we get done here. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do for the front end on that. But that thing is twin snail mail, so that's going to have a twin turbo 6-liter, I think.
Oh, I definitely got to get involved with that.
Sit it on air ride, so it sits on the ground. And
doing mid-engine or front-mount engine?
I think I want to do a front mount, because actually I have to do a front mount because it's so short. I kind of did some mock-up. The frame's over there, so in the bay next door, but with the TH350 with a long tail shaft and just the LS block just kind of not even mocked up there.
Long tail shaft, that damn near almost be a direct bolt onto the rear.
Yeah, it's 17 inches is the drive shaft.
That's what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I just had a TH350, all stock. I was just kind of using for just get an idea, mock-up purposes, I guess. Just kind of start playing around with the idea. I don't know what it had for a motor. I'm assuming some sort of an inline 4 or something. So trying to fit
I think they were small too.
Trying to fit a 6-liter in there, or even a 5.7. I've got the original LS1
I was wondering
what
that was sitting over there.
So it's still good. Everything's good on it. It just ate a rod bearing, so the crank shot, but that maybe that'll end up going in there, depending on the 6-liter that's in the Chevelle will eventually is supposed to go into that, because that's the block for the full forged rotating assembly that I haven't had a chance to put together yet. So got a lot of projects on the line, and just not enough time to do it. That's the biggest problem about when you do a remodeling project at John Wishman's house.
Oh.
And I go, hey, do you by chance have a set of factory LS or 6-liter rods laying around? I need one rod. He goes, I don't know why you want to use that junk. I do, but I don't know why you want to use that. Just go get yourself a set of forged rods and pistons and go that route. And I'm like, okay, but I wanted to get this thing back on the road for cheap. I didn't want to fucking spend all this. He's like, no, yeah. So I come up with a new idea and I run it by him. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. Just go ahead and get this. Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do this. Next thing you know, it's like, this is way more expensive than $600 rod and piston and a little bit of machine work to get back together. And so yeah, it's snowballed, but hopefully maybe a nice long block and everything. It should be able to hold together under a stock. Well, then of course I want to up the boost on the blower and do all that stuff. So
gotta make the bottom end reliable somewhat if you're gonna be squeezing a lot of power out of it.
So we'll see, but yeah, and then it snowballed, and it's like, all right, well, might as well get a set of LSA heads or whatever, and get rid of my cathedral port with the adapter plate, so that I can gain a little bit of.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They do have those. I forgot about those. I just recently started doing research on those superchargers and those adapters. I'm just like, man, that's a lot of hardware. But hey, at least they got it somewhere we can actually get an affordable supercharger at cheap add-on and go on an engine and just roll it.
Yeah, when I bought mine, you'll probably shit when I tell you what I paid for the blower. I got it like right as they were starting to kind of come online, and there was no adapter plates for them, and I didn't realize.
First gen, huh?
Well, yeah. Well, they're all to cathedral port, so they're all the rectangle port, and then obviously my heads are cathedral port, and so you got to have an adapter plate, otherwise there's a hole there.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even realize any of that stuff, and so I was like, oh. $450 for a supercharger. I've always wanted a supercharger, so I bought the supercharger. You got it
that cheap?
Yeah.
Holy crap! Those things are going for like.
Well, granted, I needed to buy a lid, so I bought a ZL1 lid. The fuel rail was almost as expensive as the lid, I think, because there was only like 7 of them in the nation at certain dealers. And then, injectors, and then I ended up having to do a CTSV or ZL1 or whatever, water pump, and then the pull.
Oh, yeah,
it ended up nickel and diming, and it had $3,000 in it probably by the time it was all said and done. But
that same kit now, it's about $7,000.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Someone actually found everything, all the research, and put it all together. Now that product is $7,000 now.
Yeah, no, it was. I got in on the perfect time, but I'm a little retarded, I guess, in a certain aspect, because I get a little excited and I just jump in. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. I always wanted a supercharged car, and then I'm kind of just messaging and talking to some people. Like, you're an idiot, that won't work. I'm like, why? All that stuff is interchangeable. It'll work. And they're like, no, it won't. It's different port design. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, that's the only thing that got me too. I realized it over time.
Yeah. But I made adapter plates for it because they weren't making them at the time. The one guy that was making them just disappeared. I think he got in trouble or something. And so, of course, right when I need them, he's not making them anymore. And they were like $450 back then, which I would have paid $450 for the adapters.
Now it's cheaper than that.
Yeah, like $125 or something like that. And I would have paid the money gladly, but he was nowhere to be found. He just up and disappeared, was gone. And
he might have stole someone's patent.
Very well could.
Who knows, man? Someone probably went after him.
So shortly after, I went down to Rivers Metal and bought some 3/4 inch plate aluminum and got my drill press out, my table saw out, and cut the aluminum on my table saw at the right angle. And
so you milled out all that material. Huh?
Yeah, with my drill press, and then a freaking die grinder with a carbide bit on it. And then as soon as I get done with it and like bolt them on, dude's back on the internet again. I don't know if he went on a bender or what, but it's like the hours of me just rigging that shit up
and just to get it going, and this guy comes back out of nowhere.
It's like, motherfucker, I should have just waited and just kept collecting parts. But just trying to figure out how to get all that stuff to line up and having to. Yeah, it's part of the process, I guess. It's part of the fun of it's putting a puzzle together. Basically, they're just really expensive puzzles. Yeah, you buy a lot of parts that don't work, and then they sit on the shelf.
I went through that same. I'll go through the same thing, man. I think it's something we do. It's trial and error. Until you get it right. You end up with a bunch of extra stuff, but that stuff actually down the road would come back in your favor. It always does.
Yeah, that's why I keep shelves full of crap. I mean, up there, it's like, got to keep it because you never know when you're going to.
One man's junk is another man's treasure, man. Yeah, I truly believe in that. It's always been like that.
I'm just hoping that all my junk becomes my treasure someday.
Yeah. Right?
We'll see. We'll see if it happens. I'm not sure, but. Man. So what's your shop called? What do you want to drop a...
Oh, yeah.
Do a shameless plug for the shop that welds up Honda intakes and does front ends on Mustangs.
Yeah. I can be located Taz Fabrication and Welding, located on 6041 Cornhusker Highway. You can go and look up my Instagram, Taz Fab, .9862. Check out some of my work. Let's pretty much I do a lot of fabrication and welding. Do a lot of window tinting, do a lot of automotive customs. Period. It's just it's my passion. It's what I like to do.
I can vouch. It's definitely his passion. So I've known Taz 20 years now, probably.
Yeah.
And motherfucker's always been customizing stuff or doing something, man. It don't matter what it is. He's throwing, a new paint job when it shows up with a new paint job on the car. He's got, I got a turbo kit. Where'd the nitrous go? You had nitrous last week. What the hell happened? So you're always up to something for sure.
Just enjoy the things I do. I just try to show the people I can do better. That's all.
Absolutely, and you got a skill set, and I especially with the welding. I mean, you do some really trick shit.
Yeah.
So I enjoy seeing some of the things that you put together. Me, I booger stuff together. He actually lays some dimes and like actually makes things look nice. And you know, I use my MIG welder as a hot glue gun. Just
just stick it. Yeah.
But that's going to change. That's going to change.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's just time, man. You know, everything takes time to get it to where you like it. It's always going to be like that. It's the everyday challenge of our lives, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's if you're not growing, you're dying.
Yep.
And so I always try to learn every day. I want to know exactly how you do it so that I can do what you do, and vice versa. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, you know, on construction, I'm like that creep. I'm like, oh, what are those guys doing over there? Like, what the fuck is that dude looking at her ass as far? No, I'm looking to see what you're doing. Jeez, come on, guys. Seeing how you do it. Golly. But no, it's definitely fun to hang out with people and know what they're doing, because you get to learn a lot from them. So
that's how I learned so much over the years, man. Just being around a bunch of cool, inspiring people that I've seen them, you know, what I call, you know, local badasses. You know, those are people I look up to, and that's what motivated me all these years, and to keep pushing, to be, you know, to get better, you know, to be able to hang with these guys. You know, that's what it's all been about for me. I just wanted to fit in, man. That's it.
Yeah, and it's always been a good, I don't know, rivalry or...
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, it's probably like camaraderie, rivalry, you know. It's like, oh, damn, dude, he got me. I remember when I first got beat by, there was another Prelude that was only in town for a couple weeks, and he beat me. And then next weekend I went down and got nitrous.
Yeah.
That just set a ship sailing, you know, that just got me going on that. But yeah, it's always like, I want to get that guy, you know, and I got to get the next guy. And it's always, you know, we're always, for the most part, cool with each other.
It was just all about fun, man. Just having fun. That's
talking shit and seeing if you could outdo the guy before, you know, the guy that got you the week before. But
without humor in this sport, it's just gonna die off. You know, you got to have humor to this game. You know, that's what we're there for. It's just a adrenaline fun, you know, just a thrill ride of just going out there, proving that you could be better than the next man type of thing. That's just what men do, you know. But
what's your thought on, you kind of got your ear to the street a little bit more than I do, going out there, the younger generation.
Oh.
Do you think the car industry dying with?
Oh man,
are we the dinosaurs that are going to be dead and gone?
Yeah, dinosaurs / babysitters. I mean, I don't know what you want to call it anymore. I mean, this new generation is gonna they're gonna tear it apart, man. It's just not gonna go well. They're making it bad for us. You know, racing around the streets. You know, they're careless, man.
There's
no guidance. I just don't get it.
Yeah, but we did the same stupid shit when we were young.
Today, it's just gotten a lot worse.
I can tell you what, during Americruise in air quotes.
Oh, yeah.
That shit was out of control. Cops weren't doing anything. Like, they were not stopping burnouts. They were not, it was...
That streetcar, you know, kids streetcar takeover. That's the attitude out there nowadays. It's sad, you know.
And they just go out in parking lots, just do whip shitters everybody stands around a car whipping shitters.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Seems like they should be a little smarter than that.
You would think, you know, being a newer generation, we're relying on them to make sure we can continue to do, you know, carry this sport in a positive way to where we're not looked at as bad people, you know. They supposed to make the difference, but if no one's there to help them understand that, this sport's gonna fall off so fast, man, to where we won't be to have no more fun.
Yeah, no, and I remember being the young guy and not wanting to be the young douchebag that was in the group.
Yeah.
Like, I looked up to these guys, and I don't know that kids do that anymore, but like, it was like, I remember one time me and AJ were in his Camaro. So this is way, way back, like probably 2000, in 6th Gear Performance. Remember that Jesse and all those guys? And so that was, I guess it was right when Fast and the Furious came out, right around that time. And we see a Supra, 2nd gen Eclipse, the GT, or the 3000 GT.
Yep.
And I can't remember what it was. And they were bombing down whatever street it was, and they were all swerving for all the potholes, and it was like a snake, and we seen them go by, and we're like, whoa, that was cool. Yeah. So we jump in behind them, and we're like, oh yeah, these are the guys, those guys that are into the street racing scene. Yep. You know, we're just out of high school, or AJ, I think, was still even in high school. And we're like, oh yeah, we've seen these guys at the races, so we're going to follow them. So we jump in, and we're fucking swerving and doing right everything. And they, all of a sudden, they get into a neighborhood, and we're like, oh, that's weird. And then they pull into a driveway, and they all jump out of their cars like, what the fuck are you doing following? What? And I'm like, oh, hey guys, no, we just, we seen you guys at the street races last week. We thought maybe you were going to the street. No, man, we're not going to the street races. We're going home. Like, okay, cool. We're going to be going now. But yeah, I was looking, you know, we never wanted to, I don't know. I guess one day we wanted to run the shit, I guess. But I guess, I don't know, maybe being, I don't know, streetcar takeover probably seems pretty cool when you're 18, 19 years old, a bunch of people doing cookies and burnouts. Yeah,
but there's a better place for it all. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem safe or fun at all. You know, you basically putting yourself at risk even being there, you know. So,
oh yeah, and it does. It's weird that they just all get in a big circle and stand around a car doing a cookie,
not knowing where the car is gonna go at any given time. You know, until you see someone get punched out, you know, just like, holy shit, you guys learn from him. He just got his ass knocked the fuck across the street, man.
Yeah, like, he got bitch slapped by a quarter panel.
Fucking send game over. It's time to go home, man. You watch this guy get fucking screwed. So that's just like, man, you might, you know, cut the shit away, man. Get it out of there.
Yeah,
it's horrible, man. I hope it changes for the better anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know. I had a conversation actually at the Boy Scout thing about street racing or whatever, and it's not like the Fast and the Furious. It's not like completely out of control. You go to it's like a sanctioned event basically, and it can get a little out of control, but for the most part it's pretty straight.
Don't get me wrong, I know nothing that we do out there on those streets is safe or legal, you know, but you got to have standards. You know, how far are you going to take it before something happens bad? You know, you got to take and use your common sense on some of this stuff, you know. Kind of watch around, check everything out before you go out and do something really stupid, you know, but just kind of sit off to the side and just, you know, be the smart one, just to watch what you do before you do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm just a big old pussy nowadays. I'd like to go out there and do a couple hits, but
hey,
I just gotta
self-management.
I gotta grow my balls again, I guess. I don't know. It used to be every freaking weekend we were out there beating up on something. It didn't matter what, but get out of the game for a while and you don't know anybody out there anymore. And
yeah, you should come down there, man. You know, just check me out sometime. You know, we can go down there and just check things out.
Give me a call next time you're going down there.
I sure will.
Pretty fun. Hell yeah.
I sure will.
All right, man. Well, you got anything else you want to add? Anything you want to cover that I didn't cover?
Oh, man. Brought back a lot of good memories, man. That's all I know. This is cool, man, to think back in time where we came from and where we are now. You know, we grew up.
Yeah, that's the one thing guaranteed in life. We're all going to grow up, or at least get older. I don't know if we all grow up or not.
Getting old is right, man. That's what we gonna do. But yeah, as long as we stay true to our game, man, it's just gonna make us, you know, even better people, you know, for the future wise. It's gonna work out for us. As long as we keep at it, never give up on yourself. You know, push for whatever you're trying to do in life to make yourself happy. Just keep going for that. Never stop making yourself happy.
Absolutely. Yep. I always say, if you aim for the stars, you know you're going to fall short, but what you end up with is way better than if you have no aim at all. You know, you're going to coast through life and do absolutely nothing, but you aim for the stars and you fall short, you're going to be way better than you were just coasting.
That's right. You know?
So it's like, just shoot for the moon. And
let's be thankful that you wake up every day to doing what you do. You know, that's a blessing right there. You know, that's where it all starts. Be thankful you get up every day of your life.
Hell yeah. Totally agree with that. Some days it seems like it's not worth it, but
Yeah.
The next day, you know, you wake up with a new, fresh set of eyes, and you're all good to go. All right, Taz, why don't you let the people know where they can find you? I know you already said your Instagram and stuff like that, but what's that again? Give them to it one more time.
I'm located 6041 Cornhusker Highway, Taz Fabrication and Welding. My Instagram is tazfab.9862.
Look him up. Check his stuff out.
If you need custom stuff done, hit me up. I'm down there, 3 to 7 daily, and weekends all open. So if you need anything done, don't hassle, just drop it off. Just come holler, I'm there for you.
Hell yeah, I can vouch. Taz dropped what he was doing and welded up my intake for me. So I appreciate that. And the car is up and running kind of now. So it did work. The welds worked just fine. So all right, guys, thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And this episode is sponsored by FTP Speed Shop. So go there and pick yourself up some merch, help support us, help support the channel, help us grow, help us get better equipment, and make a better show for you guys. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
All right, peace, y'all.
Later.